I've been in my home now for close to 2 years. I've tackled every other room in the house except the hall. I really wanted to create a bold statement when you first walk in. Before I could do anything, I need to replace the door. The original door was a little dated, so I need to find something a little more my style. Now, in terms of the walls, I really wanted to create a bold statement. My initial thought was real grass cloth, but I was advised, because it is a high traffic area, to do something in the vinyl. This, in fact, is vinyl grass cloth. It's made to look like real grass cloth. It's cheaper and easier to put in and won't pull. Now, the floor initially, the hardwood went right to the door, creating a problem upon entrance with snowy and icy boots. So I selected a matte gray mosaic tile for the floor. Before we hang any wallpaper, we want to prep the walls. You can either use an oil-based primer, or I've in fact chosen to use a water-based wallpaper prep coat. It allows for greater workability and drying time. Once the prep coat is dry, we want to draw a plumb line to ensure that each sheet goes in level. So measure the width of your roll and minus an inch to create the overhang. My roll is 53 inches, so I'm going to mark a line at 52. I prefer to use a long level to ensure that we have a straight line from top to bottom. Measuring the length is just as important as measuring the width. I'm ready to cut the first piece, but because this is not a repeating pattern, I only have to give myself an inch overhang at the top and bottom. Because this isn't pre-pasted wallpaper, we in fact have to paste the wallpaper. I prefer to use a roller and a roller tray as opposed to a brush. We want to consistently apply a thin, even coat all over the paper, ensuring we get all the seams. After pasting the paper, we want to paste the wall. We want to make sure to keep the pasted sides together. Now's the fun part, putting up the paper. Line up my right-hand side with our plumb line, and the top will allow for our 1 inch overhang. As we're working around corners and obstacles, make sure you have a really sharp utility blade and a pair of scissors to make little relief cuts while you work the paper. This tool is essential for trimming around obstacles such as doorways and baseboards. Just finishing up the first piece. I can't wait for you to see the finished product. Absolutely thrilled with how the hall came out. It's been a few years in the making, and finally it's starting to feel like home. I really want to create this bold contrast when you first walk into the hall, specifically with this textured wallpaper. I absolutely love how it turned out. I love the contrast with the rest of the colors in the space. But more importantly is the tile landing. Initially I was just going to do a regular mosaic tile, but then drawing inspiration from a lot of antiques and vintage shops, I thought, why not throw it back to an early 19th century style mosaic? Now, when I went to lay the tiles myself, I thought I could do it, but I got myself in a bit of a jam cutting out the numbers and the floral patterns. So even myself as a general contractor, a hired professional, so as a tip to DIYers, don't be afraid to call in for help when you need it to achieve that ultimate look. My personal style is a mix of vintage and new, and a space wouldn't be complete without vintage lighting. I ended up changing all the doors in the hall. The doors that are here originally weren't consistent with the original house, so I wanted to pick something that looked like it always been here. So I chose to go with this shaker style door and hardware. I think it pulls the overall look together. Little things like that can really change the space. Even something simple as a $5 screwless cover plate, I think really pulls it together. I found this moose rack, it just spoke to me, and I thought the perfect place to be at the end of the hall just to finish off the look.